All right, hello everyone. How are you doing? Glad to be here. My wife and I and my mom and our new son got back from Denver, and it was awesome because I went there last year and I did a poem called Civil War, which is, you'll hear it in a second, but they wanted me to do that poem again. And so, of course, it deals with the issue of abortion, but from a perspective that many of the audiences that I speak in front of can understand. So, without further ado, I present to you Civil War. You ready? Yeah. Here we go. 1861 musket rifles with mini ball bullets blast across the Mason-Dixon line from both sides. Bayonets in my neighbor's neck if they're close enough. Gun smoke and tensions in the air. This won't end for another 4 years. The American Civil War. A bloody conflict within the same nation. On the backs of blacks was built the wealthiest. Lincoln had no use for these slave trades. He had more honorable ways of being successful. The Confederate South couldn't stand it, and a house divided against itself can't anyway. Firearms changed everything. Slave ships were packed and hearts were hardened. Never asked to be here. How unfair that we're the problem. Never asked to be here. How unfair that they're the problem. All in the name of freedom. Party like a rock star while little ones are dying. Silent screams from injected saline and dreams you will never hear because little lungs were punctured before they can fully function. Who will be a voice for the voiceless? The abolitionists. How many freight trains of injustice will roll by behind church buildings while service inside sings louder, hands in the air, pump up the volume, bass kick snare, drowning out the rumblings of oppression. No formal funerals, nor miniature caskets, only the likes of medical waste management. Tell me, how many pounds of flesh do you pick up for profit? And when will that weight begin to weigh down on your conscience? Jim Jones, no thanks. You can keep your Kool-Aid. This sugar-coated genocide is sponsored by media, abortion pills, birth control, control the growth, convincing to commit cultural suicide. Not televised in the hills. Killer number 1 among African Americans is done by a wolf in sheep's clothing. Music soft, white coats. Put them on, take them off. How much does it cost to ignore the exotic white tiger in the bathroom? Or are we too hungover to pick up the phone? I know you don't want to go through with this, but are these counselors counseling or selling a service? Tell me, who's going to sue an abortionist for malpractice if the purpose is to keep it on the hush? If they don't care about your baby, they don't care about your body. This is called making it rain under the umbrella of women's health. $50 bills are filled with the faces of Ulysses S. Grant, who led the Union Army into victory. Cash wins again and still rules everything around me. Methods of man are like Hulk, busting through the seams with all green. If they can put a tax on crack, you will find it at your local Walgreens. Trust me. We take less than 2% of the cases, rape, incest, and life on the line to justify the 99 reckless who occupy all streets. Listen, men and women need higher standards and better judgment on my wish list. But hurt people, this all boils down to forgiveness. Where's the humility? Daddies running away like slaves from the so-called shackles and chains of responsibility. Meanwhile, mommy wants to secede from this union, and it only ends in bloodshed. History repeats itself. The new Civil War, where African Americans are still on the front lines. No jury, dying for the same reasons. They're not human, fully. Slavery wouldn't have ended if it depended on quiet folks willing to take a bullet to the head in some riots, and I'm all for nonviolence because words can change trends, but worse than words for my enemies is the silence for my friends. So really like that. Yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunity to be a part of a ministry like this who is not afraid to be bold in their faith and not compromise with the ways of the world. And when Stand for Life first happened, I think it was a couple years ago that I first participated in that movement. It really rocked me, and I was just really moved by standing and praying and feeling the conflict and that war that's going on in that moment. And I had some people in the ministry loan me a documentary called Ma'afa 21, Black Genocide in 21st Century America. And I had been maybe about halfway to 3/4 way done with the poem, and then I saw the documentary, and it was like, oh man, it just affirmed so many things for me and educated me on a lot of things. So it is definitely a spiritual war, and the gift that I have in poetry and being in open mic nights and secular venues, I try to attack the issue from another angle so that people can understand that it runs deep both on the spiritual and natural side. So that's that, and I love Leah and Larry. We're very awesome. So I'm going to continue growing this, and we need to continue in that fight.
Come on.